Hello. This is a demonstration of Mortal Kombat 4. This game came out in 1997, and I played it nearly 25 years ago and have played it on and off since. Please note I have set up chapters so you can skip straight to the combo mechanics section if you are familiar with the series and wish to forego this brief introduction. I am a fan of the series and have played this Mortal Kombat 4, then all titles from Mortal Kombat 9 Reboot from 2011 to Mortal Kombat 12/1 from 2023. I got this retro title from a site called GOG.com. It looked better in the arcade and is built for older tech, but I somehow managed to tweak my Windows 11 and NVIDIA settings to get this game to recognize them, to make it presentable enough to show to you. I also revisited Mortal Kombat 1 to 3 recently in retro arcades. Given the lore, popularity, and high interest in analyzing this series, I will keep this short and sweet. My intention is to distill the key techniques, selling points, and areas for improvement in this game in a manner that will appeal to and quickly make sense to both newcomers and veteran gamers. I have already published separate videos demonstrating unique gameplay tricks or playthroughs linked to this game, focusing on the final boss fights to avoid repetitive content. In terms of story, Mortal Kombat 1 came out in 1992, focusing on mythical worlds in addition to Earth, and a mystical tournament called Mortal Kombat with contenders from Outworld. The caveat being that 10 straight losses allowed your realm to be conquered. The series gained popularity for its realistic digitized sprites and fast pace, and the first 2 entries in the series were based on a tournament setting, and the subsequent entries took the story further. The series was filled with iconic characters based on contemporary stereotypes, including a kind of Bruce Lee ripoff, male and lady cops, an actor originally based on Van Damme and then made into something else, sorcerers, gods, for armed monster villains, etc. The plot came into play more in subsequent games. Part 1. Basics and Combo Mechanics. See, this game wasn't too bad for its time. While it wasn't fully three-dimensional like its competitors at the time, including Tekken and the Virtua Fighter series, which I have lost track of, and it didn't have the depth and variety of controls of the otherwise cartoony Street Fighter series, it had tactical advantages with its sidestep technique. Let me briefly show this to you here. Now, in an actual high-paced fight at higher difficulties, one wrong move and the AI can sidestep and combo you if you start a special move at the wrong time. Now, in terms of the combos, people erroneously think this replicates the dial-a-combo system of Mortal Kombat 3. To some extent it does, but I believe it has improved on and simplified it. Mortal Kombat 3 had pre-programmed random button mash combos which were different per character, and could to a limited extent be split or situationally used with basics and special moves. But what Mortal Kombat 4 does is, firstly, every character has a set of universal basic move combos. Like here, high punch high kick is a starter. This could even modify to high punch high kick, or high punch high kick roundhouse, or jump punch high kick roundhouse, or high punch high kick sweep, or deadly uppercut. Situationally, using these as a base, you can also customize these based on character-specific special moves. Let's see some of Scorpion's combinations here. They are quite interesting. As shown, he can mix his spear and teleport or fire to create a unique series of combos. He can even bring his weapon into play individually or in combos. The weapon system in this game was criticized because the weapons could fall if you took an unblocked hit, but I felt that this was realistic. You could also pick up objects on the ground and throw them, or pick other characters' weapons. This is nothing great now, but is quite reasonable for its time. Part 2. Characters and Modes. This game has 1-on-1 and 2-on-2 arcade modes, tournament and endurance options, and the choice to scale up difficulty in terms of base difficulty and the tower you chose. Now, this game didn't do too well in terms of the diversity and range of character models, and there are 2 to 4 base model types on which all characters are based. Also, some of the new characters like Yarick literally had the same move set as older characters like Kano. It also only had 15 characters, something which it updated in the Sega Dreamcast remake called Mortal Kombat Gold. Mortal Kombat Gold improved Mortal Kombat 4's graphics, added 5 new characters, and some more arcade features. But in my view, by the time it came out, it was already behind other games at the time, and it was not released for the PC and all console ports. Some of the new characters like Tanya, Reiko, and Quan Chi had potential which was realized in later Mortal Kombat games. But on the whole, it felt like something was missing. Part 3. The positives of this game. This game balanced both the old and new. Whilst retaining Mortal Kombat 3's controls and adding sidesteps and breakers, and letting you pick and use or throw weapons and objects using the run button or combinations. It added something both old and new. The game was phenomenal in the arcades, albeit the home ports at the time did not have the tech to transition the quality. Hence its console ports received a lot of criticism. However, at the time, the PC version, barring some funny character models, wasn't bad at all and still played fast with kinetic fluidity and looked modern for the time. Plus, this game is quick entertainment for those familiar with the lore. If you want, you can play it for hours. If you want, you can play it for a few minutes, and the muscle memory never dies out. The current games take more time to finish all the modes and develop the proficiency required to play just a few matches once in a while. For fans of the series, this was a good step forward at the time. Part 4: Deficiencies and Areas for Improvement. Given they didn't fully transition to 3D movement, the question was, why didn't they retain their 2.5D plane and realistic sprites instead of making a 3D game that didn't look as good or have the diversity of movesets that other 3D games at the time had? Also, the lack of diversity in character models and the limited distinctiveness in character gameplay took away from this game. I admired the input consistency and frames of this game, and the fact that if you can beat the first fight, you can beat the last, something Mortal Kombat 10 also implemented, but you could master this game purely based on the basic hit combos and a limited number of special moves, and finish it with most characters with ease. Also, the CGI endings were shoddy. There was no KRYPT mode. Online play was limited or non-existent at the time, and there wasn't much to it in terms of story. Finally, the final boss was easier than the sub-boss, which is rare and unseen in Mortal Kombat. The villains of this game are also characters or final bosses in Mortal Kombat 10 in 2015, and in that the final boss in the second round morphs into a Shao Kahn-like villain. There were also a number of glitches and shortcuts in the game. For example, as seen in my other gameplay videos, for some characters, if you stood at a certain distance, you could keep high-kicking them. Some characters vanish on freezing, etc. Ultimately, 2015's Mortal Kombat 10 became what this game was supposed to be. So there you have it, a good step forward at the time. But with plenty still to develop further in the home ports, Mortal Kombat 4 is a game that is still good entertainment, or good from the nostalgia viewpoint. By the way, I kept the sound muted because, as you see in the short fight videos that I have provided a link to below, the sound effects in this game are really funny. In the links below, I have included links to my popular videos, including the final 2 boss fights from Sub-Zero's arcade run and Sonya Blade and Johnny Cage fighting the 2-on-2 mode in their alternate outfits. That is it from my side. Do let me know your thoughts on this game and whether you want me to review Mortal Kombat 10, Mortal Kombat 11, or Mortal Kombat 12-1 next.